Hi air signs, Tara here, and I'm coming to you with an elemental air general reading. So this is going to be for Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius for March 21st. Before we get started with the reading, I wanted to make a couple of announcements. The first thing is that I'm going to be opting out of the YouTube Partner Program. That's where you have to click the ads. They have changed it. Google purchased YouTube some years ago, and now it's become just Google AdSense, and I'm not down for Google AdSense, so I'm going to opt out of that program. And the reason why I'm telling you this is normally I would tell you if you think you want to book a reading or whatever, click the eye, that'll take you over to the website. Once I opt out, I won't have the option of the eye to embed that into the video anymore. So you can find my website address here on the bottom of the screen, and you can also find it in the about box section of my channel, and that's how you can just go there and copy and paste the email address into the web browser. I'm sorry, the address into the web browser, and that will take you directly over to my site. Now, the month of March, we had a full moon at the beginning of the month. On the 17th, we have a new moon, which will be changing from the sign of Pisces into Aries. And then on March 31st, we will have a full moon in Libra. So March is hosting two full moons. This second full moon is known as a blue moon. So if you've ever heard that term, once in a blue moon, so that's where that comes from, all right? On the 21st of March, we have the spring equinox, the first day of spring, but then 2 days later, Mercury goes retrograde into, the sun will be moving into Aries as well, and then Mercury will retrograde into Aries. So that's going to be 8 weeks of Mercury retrograde madness. If you have not purchased a membership, you get to see all of that stuff. You get your 2 free charts, one that I create specifically for you. You can read about the transits. You can learn about how these things affect you in the real world. So for website members, I think I've got an article coming out one day this week or maybe over the weekend about the Mercury retrogrades, the dates for all of 2018. Okay. With that being said, we're just going to go ahead and get into this reading, air signs. There's not a lot of activity across the sign of Gemini. There's not a lot of activity across the sign of Libra, and there's not a lot of activity across the 11th house of Aquarius. All of the activity is centered around the 12th house of Pisces, and I mean it is kicking the 12th house. So, well, that card just fell out. This is a mini cross, and again, in order to gain any insight into your situation does require a personal reading. This is just general. And what I try to do in these readings is give you kind of just a general energies. So let's see. This is our focus. This is the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is represents the energy of Sun and Capricorn. And this time frame was from January 10th to the 19th. So for some of you, either you had reached a place around that time at the beginning of the year where you felt kind of safe and secure. You had everything, was kind of in place for you. But it also may have been a time for some of you in which you felt you've had to save and hoard and conserve and not invest anything into any new ventures or projects, even partnerships. This card can be speaking of a safe and secure time period of where you are is exactly where you're supposed to be right now. That's the right place for you to be. But it could also be that idea of someone who's been real stingy with you or very miserly with you. And then that person or that particular situation kind of keeping you stuck and stagnant. So fours is an interesting number because it represents choices and options. It's it's 2 4s, right? And so 2s always represent I'm sorry, it's 2 4s. A 4 is 2 2s, and 2s always represent the energy of choices and options and dualities, fork roads, different paths. but it also represents some kind of stability to it, right? And so a 4 can be, if you don't need anything to move and everything is fine the way that it is, that's great. But if you've been stuck in a situation for some reason and you are trying to claw your way out and you can't, that's not good energy. So it depends on what side of the coin you're falling on. At the root of there is the 9 of Cups. So this is some kind of wish that you guys have. Okay? Maybe it's something you've been saving for a long time, and you're finally in that position to get that. Okay? Now, let's see what the past influences are. We're going to let's lay the rest of the cards. Oh, well, here's this High Priestess. Remember I was talking about those 2s? She's a 2. And this is about the past influence of trying to either trust your intuition about what you should do, about what really is the thing you want the most. The unknown influence, the 10 of Pentacles. So this is either some kind of, sometimes I see this as a financial windfall, kind of unexpected, coming out of the blue. This could be about family traditions. It is about perhaps money, inheritances, property, most definitely finances, but it implies a group of people who have been together for a long time and everybody knows their place. Everybody's willing to do their part to contribute to the growth and the well-being and the success of the other people in the group. Okay? Now, what is coming up on the other side of this? The 7 of Swords. Well, now that card can sometimes be about plagiarism. The swords do represent thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, ideas, and communications. So, maybe you've been studying, you've been writing, and then you find someone's been plagiarizing. You yourself been plagiarizing for other people. This could be somebody who is stealing your own intellectual thoughts and ideas and property. This card can also be that idea of you thinking that you are carrying on more things than you're supposed to. This is about being of two minds about something. I have seen this card show up when there's a possible home move on the horizon. You're thinking about it. I don't know. What can I carry with me? What can I leave behind? This card can be about lies, theft, and deception. Let's see what is underneath the deck. So, some event that was a long time in coming. Okay. Now, most tarot card readers will interpret court cards, particularly they are people. They do represent people. For me, this Knight of Pentacles is going to represent an earth sign individual. So that would be a Cancer, Scorpio, or Cancer or Scorpio. That would be a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn individual. If not that particular sign, then this is going to be someone who is slow, perhaps could be very stubborn, but yet is a reliable and a dependable friend, who is extremely skilled and knowledgeable in whatever the endeavor is. And the person comes bearing, and this is the overall energy of this, the person would come bearing some offer or gift, and this could be something financial, all right? For me, nights always play out as some event, something occurring. But as we know, events just don't, they occur through people and situations, right? So this is some kind of event, something that has taken a long time to get here. For some of you, it's going to be good news. For others of you, maybe not so. All right. Now, I'm going to take a look to see if I have 4 pip cards here with this High Priestess. And so this tells me that you do have more control over this than you realize. And for some of you, it may really be about the idea of trusting what your intuition is telling you to the contrary. All right. because sometimes this card can be the idea of someone doing something sneaky when they really aren't. All right. Sometimes we have to perhaps tell little white lies or do things so that we can buy time for ourselves so that we ourselves can think about what it is that's happening. Again, there's those two of swords stuck in the ground. That's being of two minds about and not knowing if what I'm doing is the right thing, the wrong thing, or if you know you're doing the wrong thing, what are the consequences of that? So I'm going to take a look at all of these pip cards next to these this high priestess here to see if there's any information that can be more information that can be gleaned out of this. And I'm going to start in the center because this is our focus, the Four of Pentacles. So I'm first going to see if it means anything next to the Four. Here we are. The Four of Pentacles next to the High Priestess tells of the need to be absolutely certain of all aspects before committing yourself to anything, as there may be hidden undercurrents at this time. And I swear it, this card tells me that something you have wanted has finally arrived, but it's almost like it's too good to be true. You are asked to investigate any and all propositions and do not sign or commit to anything until you are totally certain. Now, because we're looking at the Mercury in retrograde phase, I would say that whatever this thing is, it's going to take a while for it to right itself and perhaps to bring some kind of profit or some kind of fortune or some kind of abundance to you, whether this is work or relationship. You know, I don't know. Let me take a look now at the Ten of Pentacles. The cards are being quite clear. As I always say, you can't stop living life because the planets are doing something weird. But what you can do is do your damn research. The internet is not just for Facebook, okay? And to try to show people what a fantastic life you're living, or Instagram filters. It is actually for you to do research, and you can find out anything that you want. You just have to be willing to look. Okay, nothing about the Ten of Pentacles. Now I'm going to move over to the Seven of Swords to see what extra messages might be there with this card. You know, again, this may not be about deception for somebody. It may be for someone out there, maybe even one person. This could be about you thinking, man, I'm carrying a lot of weight on my shoulders. You know, and then something else comes in that you've always wanted. And you're like, man, I'm going to just go ahead and do it. And then, you know, you may not be able to handle it at that moment. Now, the Seven of Swords, I want you to pay close attention. The Seven of Swords appearing next to the Nine of Wands, it is informing you that your wants and desires will come to fruition, but not necessarily as you would expect. Let me read that again. The Seven of Swords appearing next to the Nine of Cups is informing you that your wants and desires will come to fruition, but not necessarily as you would expect. And that's enough said on that. The Nine of Cups is the wish card. It is the yes card. This is the foundation. So this tells me that for some of you air signs, you have gotten exactly what you want. Okay? For others of you, you're not exactly sure what's happening. Okay? This is quite an interesting spread. Let me, I'm going to give you some of the meanings of this Seven of Swords here. Okay? Because I think it's important. And I'm going to pull Sabila's on this. Hold on. Seven of Swords represents a time of solitude and of questioning oneself with a focus on adjustments and ill-conceived plans. You are asked to be wary of fanciful promises and should look carefully at any situation before making adjustments. You need to remain concentrated and focused at this time and should keep distractions to a minimum. And I want you to look at this. This high priestess represents a highly intelligent woman. She's got the she holds the keys to the library. There's a Torah on her lap. And this can be sometimes gathering information but keeping that crap to yourself, because now's not the time to reveal it. Okay? It often depicts the Seven of Swords, the trickster, and may indicate that things may not work out as planned or expected. You are asked to show some tenacity and boldness in action to bring about your desired results. You are encouraged to dare to be bold and brave and take risk at this time. Look, only you can determine that for yourself. My role is not to tell you what to do. The Seven of Swords may also be implying that you are carrying a heavy load or burden upon your shoulders. You are asked to delegate tasks and responsibilities to others and not to take on other people's responsibilities for them, as this denies them the opportunity to learn the lessons of their own actions in regards to cause and effect. As you reap, so shall you sow. Seven of Swords may indicate that dealings may be dishonest or not straightforward and direct. It brings a message to be particularly aware of all proceedings and remain cautious. It implies that we or others may feel obligated to behave in ways that are not direct, but which we accept, hoping that the end will justify the means. The Seven of Swords carries a message that something you thought lost will be returned to you. This may include the rekindling of friendships and old ties. It can suggest that your plans are not working out, so look for an alternative. If your plan does not work out, you should not look to place blame on others, but rather look to yourself for reasons of failure. It may also indicate that the most likely cause of failure is hasty actions and a lack of focus and concentration. It may be warning that your plans will not work out at this time due to circumstances beyond your control. And this is the Moon card. Sometimes this is just something you ain't got no control over, right? You may need to look to alternative options and means. It tells of upset plans, postponements, delays and cancellations. It is as though everything is going wrong around you at the moment. It implies stealth around someone who attempts to outsmart destiny and evade the consequences for their wrongdoings. It tells of the possibility of tension and arguments, disagreements and misunderstandings within a current situation. It also implies that someone is spying or delving into issues that are not their business. It may be warning you to be honest and upfront in all your dealings, otherwise you will be caught out, and this will have detrimental effects on many levels. See that he's leaving. It may be implying that you may be inclined to take flight from a situation rather than face up to and take the appropriate responsibility and action to find a solution. And this guy always finds a solution. But it can also tell of surprise and or unexpected opportunities. Now that's a lot of stuff going on, is it not? So the cards that I want to look at are right in the center. I'm going to look at this Four of Pentacles. And the Seven of Swords. And then I want you to formulate a question for the angel answer and also for the romance angels. You know, something has come about for some of you, and you're kind of in a place right now where you are either about to move ahead with something. For others of you, this will be coming up. And I caution you about the Mercury retrograde. This card speaks to Mercury in Virgo. And Mercury in Virgo is exalted. It is about the details of the work being done. Bambino, Amalato, Speranza. Now, this is something new that I think maybe some of you maybe didn't move on, or something new that you can't move on. And here is Speranza, the Hope card. Now, this card can also be about fear. Sitting in one place. You know, not making a decision is also a decision, okay? Now, this card really is interpreted as the visitor. So maybe, this is a family card. So maybe there's been, somebody's moved in, or somebody has visited with you, and, maybe it seems like a blessing right now, and then all of a sudden you discover the person's been, tricking you and doing crap. I don't know. Let's see what the Seven of Swords has to say. This isn't about a visit, I can tell you that much. It definitely, sometimes, and I'm not going to lie, sometimes when I see the Seven of Swords around the Ten of Pentacles, this implies that there's somebody in your group, your close group, or your family, who is actively working against you. They could be doing so in secret through some kind of contractual work. So if this is about some kind of property or inheritance being passed down, I do again caution you to read the fine print. The devil is going to be in the details. Okay, and if you don't know what you're looking at, find the guy who does. Okay? Seven of Swords. La riunione, l'amante female, and the giovane fanciulla. And what this looks like is, again, there's another woman here that has inserted herself into this particular situation. We have heard that this Seven of what you thought was lost could be returned, including old ties and relationships. Well, this is the old tie card. I have seen her show up as the other woman. And what we do have here, riunione. Now, this card is about reunions and meetings, meeting someone, coming together. It also represents job interviews. This doesn't read like a job interview, because here we have the l'amante female, okay, the lover, the female lover. And then on the other side, we have the new woman, the giovane fanciulla. So I'm not exactly sure if this is telling me that someone has come back from your past. You've been waiting for that person. Perhaps you had hopes and wishes that you were going to be able to build a family with them. And then suddenly we discover that there's someone else in the picture. I want you to formulate a question for the angel answer cards. And then I want, and again, this could be, I don't know, maybe it is a job interview. And what you're finding out is, you're in competition with somebody else, or you've had an argument with somebody else. Everybody's story is different. All right. Somebody's been working against you. And it would be somebody that you've been associated with for quite some time, that you're comfortable around the individual. All right. And that is the unknown influence, that Ten of Pentacles. Okay. It just says it's up to you. And that could be what that that Knight of Pentacles is talking about. What are you going to do to move this situation forward? And how are you going to do it? I would suggest that you be prepared to roll up your sleeves, do the hard work. It's sometimes the physicality of doing the work that will get you through whatever the situation is. And remaining grounded. Now, this card says trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith. Okay? That's what it's telling you. Angel answer. It's up to you. The end result of the situation you asked about is entirely in your hands. Well, we see that's only one major arcana. You can affect the outcome by taking a proactive approach to solving any challenges. Stand in your own power and have confidence that you have what it takes to bring about a happy ending. Don't wait for someone else to rush in and take charge. In order to come to a successful conclusion, this situation requires your unique perspective and experience. The trust card. In response to your question, the romance angels ask you to trust that everything is exactly as it needs to be. Do not add fear to the situation. Now, remember I was talking to you about the Speranza card, could also be fear. Do not add fear to the situation, which will only create drama and negativity. Instead, the angels ask you to release your worries to them. Your present situation is here to bring you blessings and personal growth, leading to the beautiful romantic love you so deeply desire and deserve. As you follow the pathway, remember I was talking about those fours, 2 and 2, the 2 twos. As you follow the pathway you're currently on, trust that it's leading you in the right direction. Your faith uplifts your energy, which in turn attracts positive experiences in people, including your romantic partner. This truly is a situation where with faith, all things are possible. And just remember, when you come to a crossroads, once you take one path, that other path is no longer available to you, and you can't go back. You can always turn around and go back, but what's the point? Sometimes, you know. And so that's what I have for you, air signs. I do hope those messages helped you for March. Again, I'd love to have you come over on the website. And so until next time, namaste.